can lead you towards success or towards a failure. It depends upon now how, if you have a strong comparative advantage towards for your product, and yet um, somehow it would fail. Now there could be two reasons for it. One, there could be external factors which are beyond your control, which 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 can allow your product to fail, or there could be an internal factor that you have missed out, which can fulfill the demands or the requirements or the wants and the needs of your consumer. Okay, it is not etiquette to simply obtain comparative advantage, which means that the comparative advantage of the firm exists in the marketplace, which means that the if your business exists in the marketplace, then you you have comparative advantage, you have an edge over other competitors. Now this is something that it's not just adequate to simply achieve that, you have to maintain that as well. A firm must strive to achieve sustained comparative advantage by agility, ability to quickly adapt to changes, and formulating, implementing, and evaluating these strategies over and over again. So how can you achieve comparative advantage? You need to go back to the drawing board. You need to keep on coming up with the new product and the new services that has comparative advantage, which are unique, which are hard for your competitors to copy and loved by your customers. And you need to maintain those qualities, those uniqueness, so that only then you would be able to maintain that competitive advantage in the market. Okay, let's move to another concept, which is satisfaction. Now satisfaction or customer satisfaction is something which is feeling of pleasure by fulfillment of expectation from the offer, which means if the consumer feels the sense of pleasure when their expectations, or when their need and want and what they're thinking of getting is fulfilled, only then we can call it the customer is satisfied. Okay, another definition is to extend the extent to which the product perceived performance matches a buyer's expectation. Now there's a simple equation for it. Satisfaction is equals to perceived values, or perceived or received values, against the expected value. If the perceived value, or the value that is received, or the benefit, or the sum of perceived all tangible and intangible benefit that the customer is getting against what the customer was expecting, the benefit that he or she was expecting to get, if there's a difference between that, and if the benefits or the value that you're receiving is higher and your expectation is lower, then the customer would be satisfied. Then the satisfaction would emerge. You can think of it in terms of this way. If the P is greater than E, which P means perceived value and the E is the expected value, if the perceived value or the value or the benefit that's received is greater than the expected value, or the value or the benefit that the customer was expecting to get, he or she has got more value, more benefit, then obviously the customer would be delighted customer, which means the customer would be a very happy customer, and he or she would stick longer to the company's offer, and would not only would stick longer, but also would be willing to bring other people and make them your customers. Only if the perceived value is greater than the expected value, only then the customer would be delighted and customer would be happy. If the perceived value is equal to the expected value, which means if the perceived value, or if the value that the customer has received is equal to what the expected value the customer has thought of, that the customer was expecting to get certain benefits, and exactly he or she got the exact benefit, then the customer would be a satisfied customer, but he would be a vulnerable customer, which means he would and would be an unhooked customer, which means that he would stick to your offering, would stick to your offer, would get your product and services as long as the expectations are fulfilled. If someone else is offering more benefits against what he or she is expecting, then the customer would simply switch to another brand, would switch to another product, would switch to another company. So if the perceived value or value received is equals to the expected value, the customer would be satisfied, but he or she would be an unhooked customer. He would be or she would be a vulnerable customer. Your competitor can easily grab your customer if you're offering the customers exact amount of value what the customer is expecting, nothing less, nothing more. If the perceived value is less than the expected value, if the what if the customer is receiving or perceived value is less, what he's getting is less, and what he or she was expecting is more, then obviously the customer would be a dissatisfied customer, and that would be a destructive customer to your business, because not only that the customer would be dissatisfied, but he would likely to show his feeling, his emotion, and his anger towards your staff, towards your company, towards your product, and he or she would be willing to will go out and would tell other friends and people regarding regarding the dissatisfaction that the consumer is getting from those offer. So satisfied customers buy again and tell others about their good experiences. Dissatisfied customers often switch to competitor and disparage the product to others. Okay, this is something. This was something which is what we call the customer satisfaction.